I want us to read Ezekiel chapter 3 so that we can go into the message. Ezekiel chapter 3. But before tisati ndaverengesa Ezekiel 3 munhu waMwari munozviziva here kuti Makandiwa akaramba baba wake. Dziwe nyaya dzinonakidza asi dzichigumbura. People of Zimbabwe and the rest of the world. Prophet Makandiwa introduced his spiritual father in 2010. And he said, I didn't know that one needs a father until my elder brother asked me if I have a father.
Yes.
And by elder brother, he was talking about Hubert Angel.
Yeah.
So Hubert Angel is the one who introduced Makandiwa to Victor Boateng, the Ghanaian spiritual fraudster. That one is a decorated conman. After spending 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, each year Boateng would come here and Makandiwa, there is a video that is called Honor Your Father and Mother, I think. And in that video, I watched it. I don't know. You can go to Makandiwa's office and ask for that DVD. He was teaching that you should honor your father. And he was saying, because I honor my father so much, I even wash his underwear. He said those words. Makandiwa akamborekodha video achitaura kuti anowachira Boateng underwear yake. But as I speak to you right now, Makandiwa has denounced his spiritual father. He is no longer a spiritual son for Victor Boateng. Even though I don't know the details of what happened for them to go separate ways. Yeah. But my suspicion is he got fed up of the subscriptions. The money that Boateng was stealing from Makandiwa was too much. Makandiwa's source of money was dwindling by each day. Because the moment Chiwenga started to preach that these guys are conmen, less and less money continued to come to Makandiwa. He started to get less money every month because people are getting, they are being opened up. They are now understanding that there's nothing of God in these guys. So they are now withholding their money. And because of that, Makandiwa said to Boateng, no, I can't give you any more money. And the first thing that happened is, Makandiwa having been introduced to Boateng by Angel, yes. Angel was the first to ditch Boateng. As I speak to you right now, Angel is no longer Victor Boateng's son. He is now Pastor Chris' son. He went to Pastor Chris like a small, tailless puppy. He knelt down before Chris and he was anointed. Makandiwa no bambo zaraka rebera zi. If I am a member of the UFI, I would have this question. Father, because the UFI Gallibos, they call Makandiwa their spiritual father. And when he introduced Boateng, he introduced him as their grandfather. So if I was a UFI member, I would want to know where is my grandfather. I would want to know how my father is now at loggerheads with my grandfather. Yes. And this is a question I asked some 4 years ago. What process is it by which people acquire fathers? I process ipi yekuti munhu anonotsvaga baba. Kuti munhu anoti andisingazive kuti I need a father, ndobva ndazovatsvaga. Those were Makandiwa's words. Yes. My son did not look for me. I am the one who brought him into this world. If somebody asks my son, how did you find a father? They will say to them, I didn't find a father. But the father is the one who found me. He got married to my mother and he fathered me. That's how I got a father. And now today my question to Makandiwa and those who are stupid enough to follow him, my question is, what process is it that a person denounces his father by? Process yekuramba baba inonzi chi? Kunonzi kueduka. Saka izvozvo vanhu nekuyefa vasisina sekuru. Muri kutsvagirwa vamwe sekuru vanyowani vanoda mari shoma kudarika Boateng. It's a sacrilege. And ndopari hamba ndopamai ndichaparidza vakeri ropera. Asidawo zvitaura hapana zvamunondiita. Makandiwa asisina baba izvezvi kutaura kuno. Akaramba baba vake Boateng. Mubvunzo wangu ini ndewekuti saka achaintrodusa vamwe here? Kana azowana vamwe baba, vanhu vekuUEFA achavaudza kuti kudii? Kubva muno muZimbabwe kuenda kuGhana kunokwekweretsana nemumwe mudzaiko wakatozungairawo zvawo. Asina chaanoziva chaJesu kana. Ndobva auya muno muBoateng, ndobva apfugamisa Angel apa naMakandiwa apa. Ndobva avadira oil. Paakutaura ndimi zvikanzi shatou shatou. Vanhu vakati mudhara aanointwa. Abva pana Boateng achinzi aanointwa Angel. Akanopfugama futi pana Chris. Akaanointwa futi. Inenge iri top up here sezvatinoita fuel motikari dzedu. Tofana kupota tichizvifumura zvinhu izvi kuti zvifumuke zvakadhakwa. Kana uchitenda kuti Makandiwa munhu waMwari wakadhakwa, unotoda detox chaiyo. Ende tikasataura nenzira iyoyi unogona kufa wakadhakwa kudai. Chazvakanakira nje kuti uchingofa bedzi unobva waita sober, super sober. Chinomira pamberi pemusiki wako. Doro rese rauri kunungiswa naMakandiwa reheresi reraenda. Prophet vakaramba baba. Saka izvezvi Makandiwa is a prodigal son to Boateng. And in his teachings about his own father, he said the success of a prophet depends on the relationship that he has with his father. How is he operating Makandiwa, having crossed paths with this father of his? And izvezvi ndichitaura kudai so, hakuna mumwe munhu atabvunza Makandiwa mubvunzo uyu kwaMakandiwa izvezvi. Ko mudhara wenyu akaita sei? Hakuna anombozvibvunza izvozvo. Ndozvinoita vanhu vakarohwa nehypnosis. They don't ask questions. When doctrines are changed, they remain fixated on an individual. They don't interrogate their faith. They don't check and balance their faith on the basis of the scriptures. This doctrine of spiritual fathers, it's heretic. It's unbiblical. Once you call an individual your spiritual father, you have rejected God who was supposed to be your spiritual father. Yes. And tell me, Mr. Makandiwa, where do we find grandfathers in the Bible? Elijah, akanzi baba wangu na Elisha, mwana wenyoka. Saka sekuru wa Elisha vangu warani. Aunyare kutora vhesi yakadaro uchida kugadzira chimpuchu chevhangeri. Now, let me conclude this interaction with 3 scriptures. The purpose of doing this is not just to pick a fight with these guys. The purpose is actually to expose them so that we may see that these guys do not have God in them. They are not sent by God, and therefore you should never continue to follow them. come to Jesus. We have the true gospel. That's why nobody ever calls me a spiritual father. The spiritual function of a minister of the gospel is that of a mother and not of a father. And don't tell me that these two are not different. You'll be a fool to tell me that. A father and a mother are totally different. Number one, the father is the head of the house. Yes. The law of the house is passed by the father and not by the mother. The second thing is both the mother and the children are beneficiaries of the father. The father is the one who looks for his wife, who is converted into a mother when she gives birth to sons who belong to this father. A mother doesn't have children. Children belong to the father because the seed that creates a child is in the father's loins. It is not carried by the woman. Those are the differences. The mother is there as a servant to serve the father in raising these children, bearing these children, giving birth to these children. But the children belong to the father as much as the woman herself also belongs to the father. Baba na amai ne vana vese vari vaviri vanonzi muri vangu na baba. Ndindakatsvaga amai ava, ndindakaita vana ava naamai ava. Saka vana naamai vese vari vaviri vanoriritirwa nababa. Saka baba naamai hazvina kumbofanana, hazvifana kutombokonfuzwa kana mbichana. You cannot have a mortal man, a physical man, a flesh and blood person as your spiritual father because of these three scriptures. The first scripture is in respect of seed. Yes. The one that becomes your father must be the source of the seed by which you are formed. My daughter Lorraine calls me father because the seed that formed Lorraine came from me. It doesn't matter, they are better men than myself as far as parenting is concerned. They will never become a father because of the issue of seed. Now, if we call Apostle Chiwenga our spiritual father, then the question is, by what seed did Apostle Chiwenga give birth to us? What seed makes the children of God? If we can identify that seed, we are safe and dry. If you want to know your father, it's not a problem. Just look for your seed. When they do a paternity test, they are trying to locate the source of the seed. So we are going to read 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 23 to 25. In conjunction with James chapter 1 verse 18, those and in conjunction with the John chapter 1 verse 12 and 13, we are reading these three scriptures to define the seed, which is one of the three scriptures we are going to read, which are going to show you that only Jesus qualifies to be your spiritual father and no other human being. If you meet anybody who claims to be a spiritual father or a spiritual father, that person is a fool. That person is an enemy of Jesus Christ. Yes. Ask them this question: by what seed did you bring forth these children? Imi munozviti vana vaMakandiwa. Mubvunzo waChiwenga ndeuyu. Mbeu yamakazvarwa nayo naMakandiwa inonzi chii? Yamunozvarwa nayo naMakandiwa mobva maita ma-spiritual children aMakandiwa. Inofana kunge iri spiritual seed. Because mbeu ina Makandiwa iri physical, ndo yakabereka vana vake vana Rejoice vaya. Yes. But tikutaura mbeu inobereka vana vari spiritual. Andrukona pane nyaya. Yes. Kana uri spiritual father, uri kuti ndine mbeu iri spiritual. Inobereka vana vari spiritual. Saka Mwari anokodzera kuita spiritual father wedu nekuti ndiye muridzi wembeu yatakaberekwa nayo sezvatichanzwa mumagwaro. Imi vana vaGuti, imi vana vaMakandiwa, mbeu yamakazvarwa nayo naGuti naMakandiwa naMagaya yemweya yaakakuberekai nayo inonzi chii? And to my brother Makandiwa, I wish to God that I would meet him one day, under different circumstances, of course, without him paying hooligans to kill me or to attack me, just to sit down like this so that we can deliberate on doctrinal matters. If God is willing, he can turn his heart that he may desire to learn the truth. And if it is in God's plan, he can actually preach the true gospel.